abandi ku bakungu ab'ebyokwerinda e Masake basinziira eyo amagye gakuba nti tiimeteefuteefu kubanga gwaayo buyinza eri gavumenti eyindi oba niwaali kwita oba naani tiibeteefuteefu kubanga balekula buyinza olijja akola otya n'abantu nga bakaalimu bebijiimu nga gye beetoolooleramu.
Well, nakugamba ekigendererwa kyaffe ekisooka is the rule of law, enfuga ey'amateeka. Ffenna tuli wansi w'amateeka, abakulembeze, abasirikale, abapoliisi n'ebirala. Ate constitution yaffe egamba nti the military will be subordinate to civilian leadership. Ensonga lwaki tugenda mu kulonda tulonde omukulembeze. Oyo omukulembeze yaba alina okulembera, otherwise amagye ge gandibadde galonda omukulembeze. Ate kyansanyusiza nti ne bannamagye ga budde bangi abatalina mpisa abali mu regimu ya Museveni nga babikola. Omugenzi Shaban Bantaliza mukama mumuze mirembe naye yavaayo n'agamba nze nyina emmundu zange 3 mu mmotoka era ndowooza wali omutya. Munnange ze sibatya ate ogambe basinga Museveni ebosi waabwe kati oba yesimutya lwaki bombatya. So ebyo bonna bajja byogera. Tulina abasirikale abatalina mpisa bangi nnyo naye bajja kuba bulungi kubanga si be mateeka, waliwo amateeka. Abasirikale bangi bayogera ng'ebyo naye bajja kumala bakkakane, bajja kumala bagondera amateeka.
Ebyo tebikutiisaamu.
Ebyo tebintiisa ng'omuntu era tebitiisa bannayuganda kubanga oluvannyuma lwa byonna bakimanyi tobuyinza buli mu bantu kubanga singa baali tebatya lwaki babyogera.
Good morning, everybody. Today is Sunday 14th November 2021. Thanks very much for joining me. My name is Demi Kiza Azores. Thanks for all the platforms who are hosting me. And thanks everybody who has tuned in to see Helen. I can see you, Amber. I can see you, Mwanguzi, Brownie, Helen, again, Nabatanzi. Everybody, thank you for watching me. We are going to talk about the rule of law in Uganda. I think everybody has got a story when we talk about the rule of law. Unfortunately, everybody understands what the rule of law is. Where we stand for now is like Mpawa Atali Chambala. Everybody is on the wrong side of the rule of the law. Everybody, it can be land grabbing, it can be freedom, it can be anything. Uganda, the rule of law is not there. Rule of law has gone out of the roof. So today I'm going to talk about that. And if I could take you back, I always come up with the news. The news on 12th Friday, we had a president elected from Makerere Guild University. Her name is called Shamimu Nambasha. Congratulations, she's 22 years. Jana started hard work very hard, represent Noob, and show a very good picture. When we talk about rule of law, important news that I have to tell you. Our lawyer, one of our lawyer, woman MP for Kampala, Shamim Malembe, informed the world that her life was in danger. Please let us put her in the prayers. Let us check on her. Let us support her as much as we want. On Friday, Bobby Wine went to Mbale for a radio show, was stopped. We had tear gas, we had shot. And that happened again yesterday in Irira. But we saw the love for Bobby Wine. We saw the love for Chiagrani. We saw the love for NUP. We saw the love for the change. Hey, what can I say on that? And yesterday, the COP, climate change conference ended yesterday, and they agreed to reduce all the fumes by 1.5%, but they say that that's too low. They cannot. The best they can do is 2.5. So we have to contribute. You have to ask African leaders, where are we? and a leader from India refused to sign because they said that African, we still have problems. We don't have rule of law. Unfortunately, I'm talking about that today. We don't have rule of law. We don't have democracy. How are we going to sign when people, they are outlawed, they don't respect the rule of law? And then a reminder for everybody. IMF gave us some money. They call it extended credit facility. But they gave it on a condition that the government of Uganda should abide, should implement governance, good governance. But as it happened yesterday, they fired the tear gas to Kyagulanyi, a president of NUP. That is not fair. That is not acceptable. He's a civilian. He's a leader. He's allowed to go to any radio station like any other person. What they did was outlawed. So fortunately, I'm talking about rule of law. And then this program, as you can see, I've got the name for that. The program is gonna have two names. The first one is gonna be in English, binding facts, because I always use facts. And in Uganda, is gonna be Ndesewino. So how about that? I have another news, personal news, but I'm gonna speak this in Uganda for confidentiality. Yesterday nafunye amawulire amalungi okuva eri comrade yafuna obuzibu bungi nnyo mu Uganda, baali mukaaga, omu baamutta, abalala bali mu kkomera, naye ye Mukama n'ayamba n'afuluma. Naye bwe yafuluma ensonga ze n'azikwasa, eyo gye yasobola okusabira obubudamu, naye baamuzzeemu nga bamukkiriza, era n'antuma n'aŋŋamba neebaze nnyo pulezidenti waffe Kyagulanyi, era ne mabaluwa ge baamuwadde erinnya lya Kyagulanyi lyabaddemu. So that tells you that everybody knows what is happening in Uganda. Everybody knows there is no rule of law. Everybody knows that people, they are dying in prison. Everybody knows that people, they are being detained. So that is the brief news, the news, they keep on coming. So let us keep on the deck for IMF. Send them that video from Daily Monitor. Send them the pictures and probe them and say, no, the rule of law has not been implemented. There is no good governance in Uganda. They are still beating the opposition. So when we talk about rule of law, you can look at everybody knows it is just like the principle that all the people and the law and all the people and the institutions, they are accountable to the law. No one is above the law. No one. It should be the institutions first, and then they should be operating on their own instead of being manipulated. Instead of what we can hear, law, powers from above. It shouldn't be that way. If I could take you back, we have to look at this history. Uganda is going into turbulent times. Uganda is going through difficult times. If we can go back in 1966, Obote overthrew our constitution. Since then, Uganda has never been the same. What we have seen, that change of power for the president has been through guns, has been through coup, and now we are going through bush war. So what we are looking for as NUP, we are looking to reinstate rule of law. We are looking to reinstate term limits. We are looking to see that there will be change of governance, change of leaders, that Bobby Wine, that Robert Kyagulanyi is going to hand over to someone else. He doesn't have to be in power forever. So rule of law is so important. Uganda is not growing economically because of bad rule of laws. And what is happening is not what we see. Obote overthrew the constitution. Amin scrapped the parliament. Museveni is talking about the same. He wants to bypass the parliament. And the problem we have now that NRM, they are big in numbers. But when you look at the rule of law, it doesn't mean that because you have the numbers, you do what you want. The rule of law tells you it has got to be the principle of the people and all institutions that they are accountable to the law. So that is why you see that we have even a hashtag accountability and services. So when you talk about rule of law in Uganda, as it stands for now, you can see Uganda is all over the place. We don't know. We don't know who is in charge of Uganda as we stand for now. What is happening for now, it shouldn't happen if we had a leader, legitimate leader leading Uganda. What we have a ruler. And what we have military regime. What do we want? We want a civil regime, civilian regime. Because of that, you can find that Fred Enanga is making laughable statements. And then you can hear this lady spokesman of the UPDF, what is her name? Farida. She starts with the F. She says, I don't know where Chibarama is. And then she comes in the evening, yes, we have Chibarama. Then you hear Minister Oriemo Okero, Freddy is on the plane coming to Uganda. And then tomorrow is like, I don't know where Freddy is. Freddy is in Turkey. So everything is all over everywhere. But what we can see is lawless Uganda. There is no rule of law. If there is rule of law, there should be accountability. There should be respect of people's liberties, respect of freedom. I was reading a report yesterday. It was written by the Uganda Law Society. It had 6 recommendations from to the government of Uganda. And one of them were like, stop taking people in military courts. That is still the same. And then they said to them, stop detaining people, National Unity Platform. They haven't stopped it. They made a recommendation which are very simple, but they are not listening. Remember JJ Odong, when he said that he doesn't know the drones. He doesn't know people who are abducting people. And then a few days ago, he comes and say, yes, he knows. Now we are approaching next week that we are going to remember on Thursday. Those who live in UK, you are invited to go to Uganda House from 12 p.m. to 6 p.m. Join outside and stand with those people who died innocent, who were innocently murdered on 18th and 19th December. They say 54, but we know there are more than 220 who were killed. So when you look at the rule of law in Uganda is all over the place. Look at judiciary. Judiciary will say, we give you bail. And then people, they are being arrested. As soon as they are given bail, they are being rearrested. And when people, they are being arrested, they are being taken to military court. It shouldn't be. It should be that people, they start in civilian courts. We know those who are meant to be going into the military court. But what military court is denying people is their rights. But however, when you look at these people committing crimes after crimes, abusing, violating human rights, you can see that there is a lot behind them. Because this year in March 2021, we had a report which said 70% of corruption happens in the police. How do we expect those people to implement rule of law? Then you can see in the judiciary, it is about 50% corruption in the judiciary, where you don't expect judiciary, where you don't expect corruption to be. So, fellow Ugandans, power at Kambala. Everybody is crying now. Everybody is feeling the pinch of rule of law, rule of lawless. No one is in charge. We can see when Museveni says something, Enanga will say something. UPDF will say something, Mohoz will say something. So the RDC, who is an RDC and RCC to stop a leader of a political party to stop appearing on a radio show? Who is that person? Where do we want rule of law? We want our things that are stipulated. But what we see, there is some emotional. They act irrational. They don't care. What they say, we're going to stop Robert Chagwan. We're going to stop them. We don't want them. But rule of law is like there must be fairness, regardless who it is. When you go to court, it must be fair hearing, not like powers from above. Not like we see that Kanyamunyu was tried very well. Not like you see National Unity Platform prisoners, they appear in the prison when they are limping, when they are injured. But you can see Kanyamunyu appears in court well dressed. So rule of law should be applying to everybody. But what happens in Uganda? Why do we have that? We don't have rule of law. It's about simple things that they haven't applied. We have the constitution, we have the law, we have everything, but it's just these small elements that they haven't implemented. And the reason they haven't implemented, because they want to hang on power. They want to be in power, because if they implement rule of law, definitely they will be out of power. So one of them is professionalism. Professionalism, somebody stands up. I was watching a video of David Mohoz when he was laughing, bragging how Chibalama got to him, that he spoke to him. That is no professionalism. It's like Chibalama, whom he speak to, who is your assistant. Where is he supposed to go? Did he speak to the police? Did he speak to the RC? Why speak to you, the CDF? So professionalism matters. You can see what happened in the scenes in Irira yesterday. It lacks professionalism. We saw this man having a gun in normal clothes. Then you see the way they run. They run after a president. They run after anybody. It doesn't, they deploy barracks. We shouldn't have, if there is a rule of law, it needs even 2 policemen to stop Robert Kyagulanyi. Don't go to the radio. Don't do this. But what they do, they just create chaos. They just create chaos. You can see the murders, the Bijambia in Masaka, they created them. Not because, and all of a sudden, then they say NUP. It wasn't. But when you look at our financial year budget, they allocate 30% to security. The problem which is happening in Uganda, they are failing, NRM government, they are failing to separate the powers, the government and the security. What they do, it is partisan. The security is partisan. But when you are talking about rule of law, there is 3 elements that you have to look at. You have to look at executive, legislation, and the judiciary. That is what it is. Legislate, make laws. And then executive, make them work, implement them. And the judiciary interprets what the law says. But what we see, the judiciary is manipulated. You can see now the bail. They want to bring in a bail. They want to deny people the rights for the bail. But when I was reading about rule of law, they condemned what happened into election 2021. They condemned how judiciary behaved. We saw how Judge Winnie Odoro took away the folder, the file from Judge Eva. I've forgotten the other name. So rule of law goes far. Rule of law should be respected. But there are simple things. Professionalism. You can see the way they conduct themselves. There is no professionalism. The way they arrest somebody, it's not professional. Go to somebody, Demi Kiza, I'm police so and so, I'm arresting you for this and this. So make no comment, because it will be brought against you. If you make a comment, it will be used against you. You arrest somebody, you say them walk to the vehicle. But what happens? They hound them, they beat them, they throw them under the pickup. That is not rule of law. When somebody is a suspect, you must not injure them. You must not manhandle them. But in Uganda, they use fist, the arm of fist. But what we see, there is lack of discipline as well. Remember, Robert Kyagulanyi tells us discipline as one of our tools we should have. We need to be disciplined at all times, 24 hours. We have to be switched on, but the discipline is not there. You find that, okay, even police, we use the other way to come around the roundabout. There is no discipline among them. There is no discipline. Whoever is applying, whoever is in charge, there is no discipline. These are the small elements if you want the rule of the law. And then there is independence. No institution in Uganda is independent. No institution in Uganda is independent. What we see now, we see that every institution is Museveni, powers from above. When Robert was in Mbale, when he approaches, you see them on the phone. Powers from above. We can see Segrinya, Sewanyana were given bail, and then they are still into prison. We can see the court, that's what Supreme Court decided against Poma, but they still use it. Supreme Court decided that they will stop taking people into military court if they are not military, but they still do it. So it's this discipline. It's about being independent. We need to have independent institutions. This is what rule of law is about. Everybody is the principle that people and the institution, they are accountable. The word is accountable. Even judiciary is accountable to rule of law. Judiciary is not above. But what we see, they are being subjected because of Museveni. They are being manipulated. They are being used. The law isn't there. The law is no longer there. Now going to court is like a comedian show. Going to court is like if you don't have money, you lose. People who have got money, they win. Can you believe it that you can influence a judge where you are meant to have justice? So judiciary plays a big part when we talk about rule of law. And legislation plays a big part as well. Executive plays a big part. This is why you see. So when you see like in Uganda, you can see the basics: discipline, independent, and professionalism. Those, when they miss, that is where problem starts. And also when you look at other areas, the payment, the corruption is there. But what does NUP plan to do? NUP is my diehard. NUP manifesto is what I want. If you read the NUP manifesto 227, it tells you to restore the rule of law. I played you the voice note from Robert Kyagulanyi. So NUP, they are going to restore a rule of law. NUP, they are going to make sure that institutions, they regain their independence. NUP, Robert Kyagulanyi told us again and again that we, the people, we are going to be the boss, and he is going to be our servant. As we stand for now, don't you remember when Museveni said that he's not a servant leader, that he is only working for his grandchildren? But Robert Kyagulanyi is saying that he's going to be our servant, and we are going to be his bosses. It's very, very, very important that in a country that if you want to develop, if there is no rule of law, you are not going to develop. It's just a connection. We need multidisciplinary teams. We need legal frames. We need multi-agents so that they work together. We can see now in Uganda, as we stand for now, teenager pregnancy has gone above. But we have got the sex bill. And who are those perpetrators? Were they brought to justice? What is included in the sex bill? What does it say? What about these children who are losing their lives? What the law says? What is this going to be done to those people who are abusing young people sexually? And who are these people among us? So they have to be accountable. Rule of law, NUP, it prepares, is going to prepare a country that democracy is going to prosper. Democracy is going to be in action, not in talks. The policemen, they'll be into the police. They'll be doing their job to protect our lives and they keep our property. UPDF, they are going to be in their barracks. That is where they started, and now it's going wrong. With the security agencies, they are not going to be mixed up because the problem we have is the powers. What is denying us rule of law? They are not separating the powers. The powers, you have to separate them. There are 3 types of power. I've said it before. Legislation, then there is judiciary, and then there is executive. They need to be separated. But what we see, that all these powers, they are being put away. This is why Museveni is called a junta, because a junta takes away all the laws and he doesn't care, he disregards them. Then he has got his way of doing things. You can see that the Buganda land is under threat just because Museveni is having his way. He's intimidating NRM MPs. You must make sure that the land bill goes through. You must make sure that the bail goes through. Fellow Ugandans, everybody has got something to say. Everybody has got pain because there is no rule of law. It is painful, but we have the media. When you talk about rule of law, there is freedom on the media, but the media is being compromised. The media plays a big part. The media should stand up. Fellow Ugandans, I'm calling you always to stand up and speak up. Today, at 3 p.m. Ugandan time, we have a show, it's called One Voice. Please try and catch up, because this is how we are going to interact. This is how we are going to feed each other. This is how we are going to speak to each other. I'm calling you, if there is a chance for you to call and speak and submit in your opinion. It's not about fighting, it's about engaging and talking to each other. But fellow Ugandans, where we stand for now, without rule of law, where are we going? Rule of law has got to be in place first. When it is in place, then you can look at service delivery. Service delivery, you address social issues. And all those you can address them when there is rule of law. Because whatever goes wrong, something will be apprehended. Somebody will be accountable. But what is happening now is not there. It's not there. People, they walk away with money. People, they still learn, no one tells them. People, they don't go to school, no one is accountable for that. The government is running away for that. So we need a government that is going to look at Uganda, is going to not to come and say patriotism, we teach you patriotism. No. If you deliver service delivery, people, they obviously become patriotic. If you deliver service delivery, there is no problem. But you deliver service delivery on the back of the foundation that there is a rule of law in place, that everybody is accountable. Every institution and the people, they are accountable to the law. Even judiciary is accountable to the law. All MPs in Uganda, what we see, we have got a parliament, 529 member of parliament. A parliament which was built for 70 member of parliament. Now it sits 7 times 7 member of parliament. There is no toilet, there is no fresh air. They keep on sleeping whenever there is a parliament session going on. So the rule of law is very, very important. If it is applied, we are going to be the same. We are going to be on equal par. We can be different classes. We can be different, we can be poor or rich, but we can be on the same par if there is rule of law. As long as you know Museveni is going to be apprehended. If Museveni is calling that there is no bail for suspects, let him be also put into prison. For the people who killed in Iruel, 500,000, for the people who are being killed every day. Let him be there. For his wife letting down Minister of Education, let him be there. His son Muhoz killing Yasin Kauma, let him be there in prison without bail. Then we can talk. Let us put Salim Saleh there and ask him where he is getting all this money. Let us apprehend Muhoz's wife for 640 billion, which was given to him to buy, to procure oxygen. If that is what he wants. But if we implement rule of law, we're going to be the same. And that is going to be a deterrent. The people that stop breaking the law, there must be a deterrent. If you trust that you're going to give in money, you get off the hook, or you are so and so, you have got powers from above, definitely the rule of law is going to be diluted. So fellow Ugandans, we are NUP. We are contesting military governance, military rule. We want civilian rule. We want civilians to be in charge. That is why I tell you that NUP has got its ideology, that we are people power, that we are going to look at ourselves. The power comes from the people. The people, we are going to be consulted. We are going to decide the issues, and the government is going to consult with people, and our decisions, they are going to be respected. That is what is in the legislative agenda, that the concepts of the people should be respected. So as we speak for now, there is no rule of law, but we need a civilian government. A lion produces a lion. Now you saw the Bushwa people, they were using wielding stick. And you saw in Mbale, their grandchildren, they are using wielding stick as well. So a lion produces a lion. Bushmen, they produce bushmen. Now we have got this young generation, some of them, they are bush people in their mind, beating people wielding stick. We shouldn't be beaten if there is rule of law. They have to adhere to that. So we, National Unity Platform, in our manifesto, we propose to restore a rule of law. And one of them, we are going to restore the term limits. We are going to leave institutions to function independently. And we are going to have a disciplined unity for police people, a disciplined security. And we are going to invest in money more in education, 15%, than in security. People, they think that being secure is about having an army on the street or deployment, but being secure is good to invest in education, that people, they understand, that people, they are informed, people, they know the consequences. It's as simple as that, that people, they are empowered. They know what's wrong, what's right. So fellow Ugandans, we are here. We stand here, we can see, I share frustration. I'm telling you, I felt so emotional. I didn't think that I was going to go through this, and I speak to you because it's so much what is happening in Uganda. The rule of law is not there. As simple as that. And Uganda is going down. And there are people who are enjoying Uganda being a lawless country. Enanga speaks, you say, my God. And then you see Ochola speaks, he doesn't know. Bobby Wine brought the bill for welfare for the security people. Enanga said, we don't want it. But you can see the poor conditions where they sleep. It's so poor. They want to keep even policemen under intimidation so that they can be able to carry out all these bad actions on people, beating people, killing people. But I tell you what, accountable is one element to do with the rule of law. Everybody will be apprehended. Everybody will be accountable for their action. Believe me or not, Everybody who is in NRM, anybody who is doing anything criminal is going to be accountable, because where we are going, we want to live in a country. How are we going to have iPod? How are we going to discuss peace when there is no rule of law? You discuss peace in the words, you go out, they arrest you, you go out, they shoot at you, you get home, your wife is being killed, you go home, your wife is dying in hospital. Rule of law is going to look at these people, institutions, how did you spend your money? And all these institutions, they're going to come back to us when they are accountable, how they have spent their money. As we speak for now, 19 women die every day. Should it be like that? It's not reducing, it's going up. 330 children are dying every day, avoidable diseases. 21 people, they die through police brutality every day. So imagine how many people we lose in Uganda. We are losing. This would be the presidents. This would be the ministers. This would be the entrepreneur. This would be people who are like genius. We are missing on them. So rule of law is very important. Rule of law is no longer in Uganda. Everybody wants rule of law. We are good people. We are good citizens. We want to be law-abiding citizens. We want a civilian government whereby we are going to speak to a police like he's your friend. You speak to a policeman like he's your friend. You speak to a soldier is your friend. It's not like you are going to run away from the police as it stands for now. Whenever you are stopped by the police, you touch in your pocket. Have I got money to give them? Now, even there is nothing they are stopping you. They just want to get money out of you. They just want to do this out of you. So it is not like being like that. And if we bring the rule of law, security will be done. Investigation will be done, because you'll be available to tell the police what happened, what you saw. We'll be neighborhood watch for each other. So we are reducing insecurity. What they don't know, that buying weapons and guns doesn't take away anything. But the rule of law, if a policeman treats me like a Ugandan, a human being, I'll treat the policeman like that. It will be my obligation to keep law and order. You can see people when they are driving in developed countries, there is no one like, they will find the traffic lights, red, they stop, amber, they get ready, green, they move. But in Uganda, we can see traffic everywhere. Why do we have traffic? When will they allow individual mind, civil independence of people to work together, to work on their initiative? It can't go on like that because they don't have the manpower. So fellow Ugandans, the rule of law is very important. Everybody understands what rule of law. What is happening in Uganda is not good. What happened in Mbala, I condemn it. I condemn what happened in Lila. I condemn for arresting political prisoners. I condemn the corruption. I condemn lack of accountability, lack of discipline, lack of independence. I condemn all the security and their actions, what they are doing. What I demand the rule of law to be implemented. The institutions and the people, we shall be accountable to the law. That there is fairness, there is respect for my liberties, there is respect for my freedom, for everybody, regardless who they are. Because end of the day, we are all Ugandans, and that is how I'm gonna be patriotic. You don't need to teach me patriotic. Give me service delivery, then apply, make sure you implement rule of law. I definitely become patriotic because I'm happy. What else do I need? Nothing. So we stand here. I thank everybody for listening to me. Joseph, Irene Wikira Kamala, Atganza God for a long time. Nalongo Kolyango Nkulabye, Clear Uganda, Choo Nkulabye. Yes, rule of law is what we demand. Rule of law will work for Uganda. Not because it cannot, it can work. All we need is a civilian civilian government, civilian leaders that who are going to install confidence and trust, and people will start behaving like normal. But because there is no rule of law, people now they are behaving like animals. They need to be beaten to do something. But if we have civilian government, people they're gonna take initiative and do what is right. That is what we need. All we need is people power, is NEP to come in power and implement their manifesto. And what you will see is wonders. It will be people power. It will be rule of law in place. Pam Kawa, thanks very much. Ruleka Wesa, thanks very much. I'm going to come back when God wants me to come back. And remember this program, 3 p.m. Ugandan time, for One Voice, please. Its own platform. Echoto, JB Muwonge, it's everywhere. Ghetto TV, Empire, it's gonna be streaming everybody. We need to be here and listen to each other. Sunday, I love you so much. Thank you for supporting me. Thank you for watching me. Thank you for all these comments I'm reading. They are quite very nice. And Kalanzi, how are you? Federal is the only way. Well. You just have to explain it to me, Federal. We are going to restore the rule of the law before we start talking federal, whatever. Rule of law. Salute. People power, our power. NEP everywhere. NEP. Thank you, Karunji. Rachel, thanks very much.